Hey, what's up, folks? Let me tell you something. If getting money was a person, it would be a straight up problem. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you, Katt Williams just dropped the mic and said checkmate to all those fools waiting for his response. Meanwhile, we got Kevin Hart trying to be funny on ESPN, calling himself a roast. But honestly, he's just proving Katt Williams right. I mean, Katt Williams is like, hey, how about this? How about I bring the heat? How about I show you what a real comedy tour looks like? Because guess what? I got your wife. Yeah, you heard it right. Kevin Hart's ex-wife is going on tour with Katt Williams. Now, let me tell you why this is such a big deal. Rumor has it that when Kevin Hart was actually funny, yeah, remember those days? His wife was the one behind the scenes pulling all the strings. And you know what? It's not just a rumor. They've admitted it themselves. They even said, we're gonna drop the receipts. So guess what? Katt Williams just said checkmate, and this tour is gonna be off the charts. Trust me, you don't wanna miss out on this. Now, before we dive into all the juicy details, let me remind you of what Katt Williams said back in the day.
For real, here it is, Kevin. I got a show at your hometown in Philly. I'm gonna tape my special there. On that stage, we can put whatever you want. A full court basketball court, a boxing ring, 2 microphones for a rap cipher, or you can get your ass dusted in comedy on that stage. But it's $1 million up for each one. That's $5 million, Mr. 28 million in Forbes. I'll be bringing mine in cash, Mitch. Bring yours however you want. And since you're not a puppet, don't bring no white people with you then. That's a $5 million bet individually. You can take it all, or you can take it part and parcel. This is the new movement.
All right, let's dive into this juicy story. First things first, let's talk about why Katt Williams is the absolute king of comedy. Now, if you've been living under a rock, listen up. Kevin Hart's ex-wife, Torrei, spilled the tea on her Instagram. Guess what? She's going on tour with the one and only, the hilarious Mr. Katt Williams. But wait, there's more. Torrei and Kevin were married for a solid 7 years and even have 2 kids together. Now brace yourselves for the latest drama between Katt Williams and Kevin Hart. Torrei dropped a bombshell announcement on Monday evening, January 8th. She's joining Katt Williams on the Dark Matters tour, hitting up Charlotte, North Carolina, as well as Orlando and Tampa, Florida. Talk about throwing some serious shade. And guess what? She even posted a clip of Katt Williams' epic Club Shay interview where he boldly stated that he only works with comedians funnier than him. That's not all, folks. Torrei also shared a flyer for the comedy tour. It's like a real-life soap opera. You can't make this stuff up. Now, here's where it gets even spicier. Rumor has it, and trust me, it's more than just a rumor, that back in the day when Kevin Hart was still funny and doing stand-up, his wife at the time, Torrei, and his best friend JT were the masterminds behind his jokes. Can you believe it? Kevin Hart's wife was the one writing all his hilarious material before he blew up. Mind-blowing, right? So, you know what's interesting? People often argue that Kevin Hart's biggest comedy tour happened after he and his wife broke up. Can you believe that? It's like all the jokes that Kevin, his wife, and JT had written were suddenly used in his comedy tour. Not saying it was every joke, but you can't deny the influence, right? And here's the thing. Once he had his first breakout comedy special, none of his specials have been as funny. Well, except maybe the last one, but let's not forget, he has a whole team of writers. Now, let's talk about Kevin Hart's old movies. They were all Torrei, man, and guess what? When they divorced, Kevin just blew up. But you know what's interesting? A lot of comedians, even podcast comedians, have mentioned how Torrei used to write a lot of Kevin's jokes. She was like the mastermind behind his concepts, you know? So here's the deal. Back then, there was a point where Kevin Hart and Katt Williams were neck and neck. They were competing to be the next next big black comic in Hollywood. It's like there can only be one at the top, you know, and Katt seemed like he had the upper hand. But you know what? Katt Williams didn't want to play the Hollywood game. He started speaking out against it, and it seemed like he pissed somebody off. Then boom, enter Kevin Hart. Funny how that works, right? People were all over Katt Williams for every little thing he did. But when it came to Kevin Hart, he got a pass. In his own book, Kevin even admitted to having gambling addictions and alcoholism, but nobody seemed to care. Crazy how the entertainment industry works, huh? Let's talk about why Katt Williams is the funniest. You know what I mean? So when it was his turn because of his talent, he really stood out. But then for some reason, they decided to go with Kevin Hart instead. And you're like, oh my God, once Kevin got big, Katt wasn't around anymore. But you gotta understand that Katt's groundwork and also Torrei's groundwork is what put Kevin on the radar for those studio execs. It's what allowed him to even be in the running and mentioned alongside Katt Williams. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not taking anything away from Kevin Hart, but you catch my drift, right? Now, why is this even more shade? Because once Kevin saw that his star was rising, he started cheating on his wife with multiple people that came to a head when his current wife, Inoy, had posted, you know, an anniversary, happy anniversary, I love you, 8 years together, married 1 year. The only problem was Torrei and Kevin had only been divorced for 6 years. Torrei actually lashed out, right, and said that, you know, that was really grimy, and all this other stuff, right? Inoy, for her part, the only thing she had to say was, their marriage was broken way before I came in the picture. They were separated, living in separate homes. I was never a secret. She knew that as well. Well, you know what the funny thing is? One thing about them tables, they're always going to turn. Interestingly enough, JT Jackson was also involved in this whole thing. Rumor has it, or maybe Kevin admitted it, that JT Jackson, who used to be Kevin's best friend for 15 years, well, ex-best friend at the time, and Torrei actually helped write some of Katt's material. They were like the three musketeers, and when Kevin was at his peak, they really helped him lay the groundwork so he could, you know, get into those so-so roles like Jumanji. Just saying, you know. But here's the thing, Kevin did what he had to do to become famous. I mean, you can even snake your best friend or your wife who helped build your empire worth 200 million. That's your business, right? But let's not forget about JT Jackson. Kevin actually got the feds involved, claiming that JT was trying to extort him. Yeah, that's right, extort him. And then there's this woman who sued Kevin because apparently there was an illegally made tape, and Kevin said that JT stole his credit card info, booked a room, and set it up with cameras. But JT was like, babe, we were in on this together. We were gonna unknowingly tape this woman. I know it's a crazy plan, but that's what happened. JT was like, no, me and Kevin were both in on it. And Kevin was like, nah, I was extorted. I had nothing to do with it. Long story short, JT was acquitted of all charges. Can you believe that? It's not easy to get acquitted by the feds, you know? So Katt Williams just hired the woman who made Kevin Hart, the one he admitted only works with people funnier than him. Can you believe it? Kevin Hart has been doing all this lame stuff, and out of nowhere, Katt Williams comes in with the ultimate move, saying, baby, I'm gonna say a lot without even saying an MFM word, and he's got Torrei on board. Man, I wish I could be in Atlanta right now. If any of you guys happen to catch any of their comedy shows, let me know what's up. I've never seen Torrei Hart perform, but I'm definitely curious. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering about Kevin's current wife, Inoy, who was all like, oh my God, we've already broken up, don't blame me for the state of your marriage. Well, it seems like she got what she wished for, and now she's running the show in Torrei Hart's train wreck of a life. And let's not forget that this same woman who said, don't blame me, your marriage was already broken, is now now spilling all the tea. She's opening up about how she found out Kevin was cheating on her while she was pregnant. Can you imagine? It must have been devastating for her to discover that the man she loved and was expecting a child with was being unfaithful. It's just crazy that she's now in a marriage with someone known for cheating and still believes he's faithful and expects him to honor their marriage. As they say, the tables always turn. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Catch you later.